In this next episode of Tea with Sarah, I'm interviewing Rowan Joffe. He's about to head to London next week for the opening of his new movie, Before I Go to Sleep. It features Nicole Kidman, Colin Firth and Mark Strong. He's an emerging director and definitely one to watch. Hope you enjoyed as much as I did. Rowan, hi. Thanks for having tea with me. I actually have a little surprise for you. I brought you an English cup.
Thank you.
Because I didn't want you to feel, I thought you might need
Forget I was
to
English.
remind you of England.
Lovely, thank you. I started off writing plays at Oxford. I wrote some really bad plays, genuinely bad, just complicated and pretentious plays. I sent my plays out to literary agents when I got down to London. I was rejected by, I think, 7 out of 8. And one of them said, you might have some talent. It's hard to tell because I can't understand a bloody word of any of these plays. Go away and write a screenplay. So I went off and I did that, and we sold it to BBC Films. I never looked back, because it was the same as playwriting, but you got paid.
And then you had the big break, I guess, for you was getting to write the adaptation of The American with
Clooney.
Clooney.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. That was a big break. Anton Corbijn's idea was to make it a kind of contemporary Western, which I thought was a really good idea. And he had another really good idea too, which was about Clooney shooting his girlfriend in the first kind of 5 or 10 minutes. And it just made it stand out. It made it unusual immediately. And 2 weeks after that, Clooney was attached and the movie was greenlit.
Right.
And Brighton Rock was in development at the time as well. So suddenly it looked like everything was going beautifully.
So you didn't find it daunting, suddenly directing? I mean, how did you prepare for it?
It's really daunting.
Yeah.
Yeah, directing I find daunting from dawn till dusk. And I didn't learn how to do it at school.
Right.
So really the only thing that I know how to do is to write the script.
Yes.
So I know I'm good at that. I've been doing that for, 15 years. So that's my strength. I know the script really well, and I'll know the character as well as the actors know the character. And weirdly, that's enough. People get it. They're like, okay, well, it's not, it's not about being charismatic or bossy or having all the answers or having a vision. It's just about, I've done my homework by virtue of being the writer, and people just want to know, I think, that you've done your homework, and they can rely on you to come up with a sensible answer to tricky questions, because directing is death by 1,000 questions.
Did you feel intimidated at all working with people like Helen Mirren and John Hurt and Nicole Kidman?
You do at first, and then you get on with the job, because other things distract you from that feeling of, oh gosh, they're terribly famous and I've seen them in all these different movies, and what are they going to make of my notes? But it's very easy for me to see filming from the actor's point of view. They don't care about what lens you've got on the camera or how you're lighting the scene, or they just want to be able to act.
Do you rewrite much? I mean, if...
I do a lot of that.
Right.
It's the most useful thing about being a writer-director. So not only is it intrinsically fun, but you then get a better part out of it. And when you're on set, they're that much more invested in the screenplay and invested in their relationship with you, because you've built this thing together. So, I mean, I think I'm given a huge head start over directors who are directing someone else's script.
Right. Has your mum, Jane Lapater, the actress, has she influenced the way that you work with actors at all?
Growing up with an actor means that you've got an actor's perspective on filming. Now, the thing is, a film set is a systematic attempt to make acting impossible. It's hot, it's full of people, it's full of technical things that can go wrong, it's full of repetition, everything is shot out of order. I mean, it could not be a worse situation for an actor to act in.
Yeah,
So your job is really just to be empathetic, to be intelligent, to be well prepared.
Do you rehearse with them, or...?
I like the rewriting part of rehearsals.
Right.
I like, does this line work for you? No, does this work for you? But otherwise, most film actors will keep their performance to themselves until the cameras are rolling, and, quite rightly. So what I'm doing at the moment, I hope I'm not going to curse it, but I've come up with my own TV show, which is my own idea, and I've written the first episode, I've outlined the second, I've written a Bible for the following 8, so it'll be a 10-episode first season.
Right.
And the other original thing I'm doing is I am writing a movie for Universal at the moment, which is a rewrite, but it's what we call a page one, so I've effectively used almost nothing of the previous writer's script.
And is that the one that you're doing with the A-list director?
No, that's something else.
Oh, okay.
That is an adaptation. Yeah. It's an adaptation of a wonderful novel, and I'm really lucky I'm busy. Anyone starting out or anyone who's in the industry or interested in it, 8 months ago, I'd have told you that I was never going to work again, and it was all a disaster, and I needed to either figure out how to get into advertising or be a landscape gardener. All I know is that you write something that's not very good, and hopefully your producers can point out why it doesn't work, and hopefully you get a flash of inspiration to try it a different way, and hopefully they're patient enough that you get to make lots and lots of mistakes before you're fired.
Right. Are you attracted by doing a big movie, a big blockbuster, if you like the script?
Yeah, I think everything comes down to the script, and
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter to me whether it's big or low budget. I mean, if I was directing a movie anything over $25 million, every single decision I make would be questioned by multiple executives. And over $35 million, I'd have multiple executives on set questioning me as I'm directing. I do not know how young British directors have, and plenty of them have managed it. I mean, there are directors like Rupert Wyatt, who did Planet of the Apes, and what incredible self-control and self-belief and integrity he must have had, to produce a good movie under that situation, and then to walk away from the sequel that they offered him. So plenty of admiration for him. And, if you look at the top grossing British directors in history, you've got directors there you would expect to see. You've got Ridley Scott up there, you've got Mike Newell up there, you've got Tom Hooper up there, you've got Sam Mendes, interestingly, because he's directed a Bond, and that Bond grossed upwards of, it grossed in the billions. I was really envious of those names when I first came across them, and now I think about it, I think, gosh, the pressure that they worked under is something that I really admire them for enduring. I don't quite know how they would have managed it.
What would it take to get you to do commercials?
Very little. I'd love to. In fact, I think it's really exciting. I think lots of commercials are art forms visually. I think they're art forms in storytelling because you're condensing a lot of information into a very small space, and that's something I have to do as a screenwriter. But I love the idea of coming up with a cool concept. And the thing that I would love to get from it is it's just a chance to get behind the camera and do something visual.
Yes.
Purely visual, and work with a cinematographer and have a bit of fun. I'd love the chance to do something really sexy like an automotive commercial. And I know that there are very few directors that get big gigs like that. So, I should probably be starting with toilet roll or something.
Yeah. Have you been shooting your features on film or on...
Yes.
Really? That's
yes.
interesting.
And in fact, Before I Go to Sleep was the last film ever shot on Fuji 35mm. Maybe it's just a psychosomatic thing, but it feels more like cinema.
And when is it coming out in the States again?
So UK it opens September 5th, and US it opens October 31st. This is a psychological thriller. It does what it says on the tin. I think it does it really elegantly, and I think it does it really emotionally, and I think Colin and Nicole deliver the best performances it's possible to deliver for these characters. It's just really compelling, gripping, entertaining, I hope, fun. Could you turn 6 inches to the left?
What was